Hello, I'm Jim Erickson, and I'd like to share with you some of the pictures that I made on a trip to El Salvador. In it, you'll see some of the techniques, some of the people we meet, and some of the philosophy behind making good pictures for Erickson stock.
Right around Christmas time, I had a week off, and I decided I needed to get some surf and do what I love the most, take pictures. I went to El Salvador without an agenda, without anything, and I said to myself, I'm just going to photograph what falls into my lap. I didn't bring any lights or any assistance or any major equipment. I was just solo. I stayed at a small beach hotel where the food was great, and I made friends with Fina, the cook. The first day, I went out with my guide Omar, who took me to the small locals beach. We drove up in the car, and Omar introduced me to the local surf girls. I spent the afternoon getting to know them and shooting pictures. And I like a relaxed atmosphere when I shoot, so I asked them to run in the surf, to walk, and just interact with each other. After a while, they stopped posing for the camera and started doing what comes naturally. My job in that sense is to patiently guide them to a place where they start revealing who they really are. I believe in the element of fun in photographs. If your subjects are having a good time, the camera's going to like it. One of the things I recognized about Emily was just how comfortable she was in and around the water. When she grabbed her surfboard and got in the water, smiles started happening, motion started happening. She was alive and she was free. If you really get right down to it, the best pictures are usually made in about the last 20 minutes of the day. When that bright ball gets down towards the horizon and the light gets golden, it's almost like it casts a spell of magic over everyone around. There's a feeling that something is happening. And there is really just sheer beauty. My favorite sequence is with Emily walking toward the sun, holding her surfboard. The surf is splashing at her legs, and the sun is going down, the clock is ticking. These are the moments that you've really got to make count. I chose a low camera angle and shot straight into the sun, which presents all kinds of lens flare problems. It's risky, and you never know what you're really going to get. But if you're in a chancy environment photographically, when you're taking risks and you're shooting into the sun, there's all kinds of elements you can't control. The motion of the water, where the talent is, communicating with her, giving good directions. And if you stick with it, eventually you're going to come away with some really good pictures. I think you get the best picture when that sun gets low and you start taking chances. Everything's moving. Your talent is moving. You're moving. Pictures are happening. You can feel it. You can see it. Your camera knows it. You know it. One of the things I love about the Latin culture is their ideal of beauty and those colorful dresses. I wanted to take pictures of these extraordinary clothes in an ordinary environment. So naturally the home was where we started. A mile away, down the road, we went to Stephanie's house to witness the celebration of life. And like girls always do when they dress up, they're working with each other's hair, they're talking, and it's the real moments that I'm looking for. Every girl loves to put on a pretty dress. They like to look good and celebrate life by showing that they are beautiful, and they want to face the world with the right step forward. I always like to create an emotional context for people to respond or move or think. In this case, Emily was to announce to her best friend that she just got engaged. When she said it, a beautiful thing happened. For a moment, I got to witness what was really real. Next, we went to a small church. Of course, chaos is always present. The dogs started barking, chickens were all over the place, and the gate was locked. Yet amongst the noise and confusion, here were these three beautiful women dressed in colorful gowns, smiling at each other and feeling special. So I'd like to remind you to concentrate on your subjects and don't worry about the noise around you. The gate will open, And if you learn to tune out the noise and listen and watch with your minds, good pictures will appear. Making good photographs is like cooking a delicious pie. Good ingredients at the hand of a patient and thoughtful chef will usually take home the blue ribbon. There are always these quiet moments where you're staging, waiting for transportation. That's a good time to shoot. Here's a picture of Emily hitchhiking. Well, she wasn't really hitchhiking, but I like it. It's inventive and fun. I generally start with the subjects doing something. After a while, they start forgetting that they're posing in front of the camera and they're just hanging out. I'm looking for a human gesture, something that is revealing about these people, about what their dreams are, what their fears are, and what their distractions are. The next day, Omar and I pulled up to another small beach town, and there was a group of teenagers all in board shorts, tan and brown-skinned, acting cool and talking about their surfing exploits. I was fascinated by all this. When I asked them if they'd be the subject of the camera, they were a little suspicious. But when they understood that I loved to surf, we all had a common ground, and that opened the door to the process of gaining their trust. When your subject senses your sincerity, there's a spirit of working together. But you know when they can say to themselves, hey, this person is real, we're on the road to making great photographs. I'll run, jump, and laugh. It's contagious, and then we're all working together. Israel was the lead model in the group. He had the confidence and the body of a young man who's lived his life for surfing. And like Emily, he also had his own sense of serenity about him. You know, the more time you spend with a group, the more comfortable they're going to get. And shooting teenagers is extra hard. But it's the connection that's always the magic moment. When people relate to each other, when they step out of their isolated boxes and say to their friends, I love you and care about you, or they hug and touch, that's when pictures come alive. I feel bringing people together is the biggest challenge as an artist and a photographer, and it also has the greatest rewards. One of the most compelling aspects of photography to me is portraiture. And I like to shoot portraits also in quieter moments. Usually you think of portraits when you have your hair just right, your makeup's done, or you're just really looking great. But I find more interesting portraits can be made when people are in their natural elements. In this case, Emily has been running in the surf, running back and forth. Her hair is wet and sand is all over. And she is in a very natural state. Emily is revealing who she really is to the camera, to me. And that takes a brave person to do that. Making a great portrait involves patience, but also recognizes that even a portrait is a fleeting moment, because that calmness, or that strength, clarity, beauty, presents itself in the perfect balanced moment very quickly and goes away in a blink of an eye.